Thank you everybody who's joined us. Welcome to these New Year Facebook Lives from Bristol Community Land Trust and Community-Led Homes West. During January, we're going to be doing a few of these short lunchtime events where you're going to get to meet and hear people who are doing amazing things. They're creating community-led housing across Bristol and the Southwest. Now, for anyone who isn't familiar with community-led housing, this is housing where literally individuals come together and they create housing projects. They build decent and affordable homes. Anyone can start, volunteer and deliver a community-led housing project, whether it's a community land trust, a cooperative, housing project, or even self-build. Now, if you want to know more about what they are or about community-led housing, you can go to communityledhomes.co.uk. And I'm sure if someone's, I know there's a few people from Bristol Community Land Trust watching, maybe someone can put the link in the chat. That would be great. What's great about community-led housing is you don't actually need to work in housing to make it happen. You don't need a degree in architecture. You don't need to be a builder. Basically, you just need to think that change is needed and you need to be up for leading the change. So that's what these live streams are for. They're going to show you people who are doing it and they're going to give ideas and inspiration. Just to introduce myself, my name is Peg Alexander. I'm a TV and radio presenter and a journalist, and I also work for the national charity, the Community Land Trust Network. So I've got a foot in both camps. Let's move on to what we're going to do today, though. Today, oh, there we go. That's the delights of broadcasting from home, that someone's just come to give a delivery on my doorbell. So apologies if you've just heard my doorbell going. Today, we are meeting Hope Rise, and we're going to be finding out about this amazing project that they've got, and we're also going to find out about a new project that is going to come from that called The Well. So before I introduce Sam and Dylan Lindo Jones, just to say this is interactive, right? So I'm monitoring the comments on Facebook. So get your comments in, join in the conversation, ask questions, make comments, say what you want to say, and we'll bring them into the chat. Please do. And also, if you're watching this later on, or actually if you're watching live, please do share this on your Facebook page so that other people can join us too. So let's introduce Sam and Dylan. Well, they're from nationally groundbreaking project Hope Rise, and this is where homes for young people who are in housing risk have been built over a car park. We're going to find out how they've been inspired as well by this project to develop another project, Community Land Trust, called The Well. Hello, Dylan and Sam.
Hello.
Hi Peg, hi everybody. Lovely to be with you this lunchtime.
Oh, it's great. Now, I know we're going to have such a good time on this because you're going to take us on a little tour. We've tested out the tech. Fingers crossed it's all going to work fine. But before we do that, right, give us, if you like, give us your kind of, I don't want to say elevator pitch, but, you know, kind of give us the sell on Hope Rise. What is it? What's it all about?
So, it is the first 100% affordable zero carbon social housing project in the UK.
Just stop there. Just stop there. Can we just? That's amazing. The first 100% zero carbon affordable housing project.
I'm pretty sure that's the order of the words. Yeah. I always, there's a lot of words in there.
Zero carbon social housing. It's not affordable, it's social housing.
Yeah.
So we can say big up the council.
So yeah, exactly. And that is in large part big up to Bristol City Council who have led on, well, who have been one of the lead partners and they've enabled it.
And are the landlords.
And
so
our landlords,
they've kind of stepped up to the challenge.
So it's a collaboration mainly between three groups. So Bristol Housing Festival, the Bristol City Council and the YMCA, and then the architects are a group called Z-Pods. And Z-Pods have come up with this innovative design of putting houses above used spaces in this space of car park, which is already council owned. And because of that, there is no land cost. So it means that the spec and the environmental credentials of the build can be really high because there's the budget to spend on that. So it's a very innovative project in Bristol, just next to St George Park, which is a beautiful park, also known as our garden now. And there's 13 flats, 11 flats, sorry, 9 1-beds and 2 2-beds at either end. So it's a raised terrace essentially on stilts above the car park.
So you've literally got people coming in and parking underneath and throughout the day in the way that they'd normally use the car park.
Yeah, there's actually 3 more spaces now than there was before Hope Rise went up, just because of the way they've designed it. Has enabled, a bit more space even underneath. And having said that, though, we're now above the car park, and it doesn't feel like it at all. You wouldn't think you were sitting on a car park at all.
Yeah, and I know when we go outside in a minute, you're gonna take the iPad outside and show us what you've shown me already. You don't get that sense at all. I mean, it's really great because that thing about the fact that the council had the car park already makes it potentially a lot quicker, does it? A lot quicker, a lot easier?
Yeah, exactly. And all of these, so that it's modern, it's MMC, so it's modular housing built off-site in a factory by Z-Pods, well, by a contractor working for Z-Pods, and then the stilts were put up, and then basically the pods were just craned in, and essentially could be put up within a couple of months. There was complications around COVID and connections and things like that, which meant it took a little bit longer, but still very, very fast for building 11 flats. Yeah,
I don't want to get into the technicalities of it, but obviously they've got to make sure you've got plumbing and sewerage and things like that, haven't you?
Yeah, so there's all, I mean, the houses are independent, but they're all connected to the same sewage, and it's, and the water comes up one way, and it's all
sorted it all
yeah,
out.
they sort, I mean, we don't even have to think about it, it just happened before we got here.
Wow, so you two are community builders. So your job there was about creating that sense of community. We introduced this saying this was young people at housing risk, because one of the things about it is that this isn't just the case that young people who get the flats just get to move in and that's it, is it? You are creating an intentional community there.
Exactly. And it's, I suppose, in a way, it's also a first in that sense, because it's kind of realizing that a house is one thing, but a home is also about sense of belonging, sense of connectedness, a sense of support. So for us, our job, I suppose, is to be intentionally creating that sense of belonging, building relationships, building that web of, I suppose, friendship and belonging, so that, young people, until I mean, I think even adults, no one's independent. We talk about young people being independent, but actually very few people are independent, and I don't think we're meant to be. I think we're meant to be interdependent. And if you don't have that network of relationships to support you, whether it's your family or wherever else, actually that's really hard. That is a really hard place to be in life. So I suppose what we are passionate about is creating intentionally that web of relationships to make us more resilient, to make us more connected, happy and inspired. So that's our job here, really.
And of course, for the young people who are in the scheme, that is really, really important in terms of their opportunities and development. So what happens? So for a young person who is part of the scheme, how often will they see other people in the scheme? What kind of is there, I don't know, eating together, socialising, that sort of thing? I mean, leaving aside COVID rules and what,
yeah. We moved in last December, so it was bizarre. I mean, given the context of the year, we've just had some amazing highlights really this year, and it's not prescriptive. So really, I think we've learned that the individual relationships that we kind of see people on the walkway, we've got WhatsApp, we there's been different ways that different individual relationships have developed, and then we come together to eat, to have a Christmas party. We had a big old karaoke session, we play in lockdown, we play badminton in the park most weeks, we cook, we share a Hoover. This sounds bizarre, but Henry the Hoover is the best community builder here, because we borrow, you know, we hand this Hoover over all the time, so it's
perfect. It's perfect. Why we don't all need to own a Hoover, do you?
Yeah.
And especially when we see the walkway, and we'll see how.
Yeah. But it's the mundane things as well that create community. I think when we first got here, we were like, right, we're going to eat together every week, blah blah blah. But actually, we've learned to kind of take our expectations and our agenda off and to just respond to organic relationships, and it's happened naturally. Really. So
take us on let's go on the tour, right? So
Great.
while you sort out, because I know Dylan, you're going to turn the camera around.
I'll be the cameraman.
Yeah, so some comments we've got coming in. Thank you for your comments. Keep them coming, because it's great to be interactive about this. Chris says they're working on the same premise. They're looking at Z pods too. And also Jim saying the scheme looks great and got a link to Z pods. So let's just, I mean, because look, we can see your flat now. It's lovely. It is so nice.
I'll take you outside first. So come on now. So as you can see, we are looking over St George's Park, which is destination park in Bristol, and we're quite near to Church Road, which is a really kind of bustling place where you can get everything you need. Got a long walkway here. Our flat is one side, the 2-bed, and then the other community builder flat is down the end, and then you've got all the 1-beds in between. I'll just
turn it back round again, Dylan, so we can see the walkway. So all the flats are off this one, because literally that's underneath. You've got cars parked, haven't you?
Yeah.
Underneath.
I don't want you to lean over, because I don't think that's very sane, is it?
Open up here, we've got a bike shelter, steps, and we've got a beautiful mural on the side of it.
Amazing.
Oh, that's great.
And herons, actually, I think it's the blue heron. Obviously we don't see blue herons in the park, but that is a symbol for standing on your own 2 feet and being able to be independent and flourish. And I suppose having housing has allowed the young people to flourish, and without that they can't. So it feels really poignant.
No one can after that.
So
because you said at the start one of the first carbon zero social housing. What carbon zero facilities have you? I mean, it's so nice, is what I have to say.
Well,
Nice.
I'll show you one. As you'll hear, when you shut the door, the sound just ends. It's so quiet. So it's triple glazing, which obviously for the windows in here as well. So you can't hear anything, and it's super warm.
Because Alison's been on Facebook and she says, is there problems with noise from the cars underneath?
No,
not at all, because of that insulation. Honestly, as soon as you shut, when the park gets very busy in the summer, doesn't it? And as soon as you shut the door, you can't hear anything. It's amazing. So
this is our main living space. Got a little sofa snug in the corner there, and then we've got our table. We kind of built this with the other community builder before we got here, so we've got a long space to eat together, because eating together is one of the main things that.
But you've not got a common house, have you? So a lot of co-housing schemes. We won't go into the definition of what is a co-housing scheme. As I say, if anybody wants to find that out, do go to the UK Co-housing Network or go to Community-Led Homes West website, which I know Ree put a link to in the chat. They will have a common house, but you don't have that, do you?
No. And I suppose there's that element of cost involved, that actually that would be an extra unit that wouldn't be inhabited. But I think with our plans in the future, we would love to build that into the budget so there is a shared space, because, you know, I think having a neutral space to gather, which isn't someone's home, would be brilliant. But as it stands, we're happy to host, and the walkway actually ends up being a place that people hang out and talk and see each other all the time. So in a way, that kind of acts like a communal space in the sense.
All the young people know each other.
Yeah, everyone knows each other, everyone knows each other's names. We chat on the WhatsApp, people take parcels for each other, and all of the young people that moved in a year ago are still here. So I think that's 100% retention rate for the year.
And I take it you've got absolutely cracking insulation and stuff.
Yeah, it's woven, it's made out of woven wool. Is that
Stone wool.
Stone wool, sorry, stone wool. So it's all natural
Wool,
material.
WOOL, wool.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like super non-combustible. So it's A1 listed fire regulations. It's like just impossible for fire to spread from flat to flat because of this stone wool. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if I take you over here, we've got our covered balcony. The other flats have got actual balconies, but we can do a bit of growing in here. We've got our plants, and it's a lovely space in the summer. We just open up the doors. We've got our shelves from Bristol Wood Recycling Project. And we've got larder here, and again shelves. Feels like we're adulting quite well here with our bulk buying and things like that. So if you follow me, we've got then a downstairs toilet, which, to be honest, is a great storage space. And it's also great for hosting, because when we are hosting, it just means people can just use the toilet downstairs.
Yeah.
And in storage, you'll have to excuse our Christmas
We've still got a
tree.
Christmas tree up, actually.
Still up because the council collected it on the 18th of January and we love it. So there's lovely storage underneath the stairs there as well. And I'm going to show you my favourite bit of the design and the house now.
Okay, come on, go on, because we need to get talking about what's coming next as well. Just tell us about kind of what some of the challenges and highlights have been.
Well, I tell you, one of the design highlights is this space here.
Lovely.
In terms of light and space, I feel like mental health is, really affected by light and your surroundings. And I was really worried when I saw them from the outside, because I thought they look really, they look quite dark. But what I didn't know is this, which is our kind of skylight landing, which is really super spacious. And as you come into the bedroom, the design here as well.
Super high ceilings.
Slanted, the high ceilings. And it's really quite really warm. It feels like it actually, and I know with the young people as well, supports their mental health and their sense of peace and stability. I'll just quickly show you the studio and then we can go down and talk about challenges. But here's we call it the studio.
Yeah.
Because you're both musicians, singer-songwriters.
Yeah, we're both musicians. So here's the studio and our workspace. And you can see it's like being in a tree house, really. You can, in the summer, the leaves are in full bloom and it's kind of like looking out like you're in a tree house.
Well, brilliant. Let me just ask you a question. Fran says on Facebook, she says, what's the tenancy agreement or the security of tenure?
Yeah, well, the tenancy, we're social housing tenants, so we're council tenants. So if we were to, you have to be eligible for that to be a community builder, but we wouldn't, if we were to apply in another context, we wouldn't kind of get.
What about the young people who are in the?
Yeah, they are social tenants too.
They're all social tenants.
Yeah, all social tenants.
And we've actually just all completed our 12-month probation, so now they are permanent tenancies.
Yeah. Because one of the things that's interesting about community-led housing. Do you want to head back down, just because I'm really conscious of time? One of the things that's really interesting about community-led housing is there are a number of different options for tenancies and arrangements, and obviously you've got the partnership arrangements there where it is part of the council, but quite a lot of community-led housing they do it in partnership with housing associations. Different agreements can be put in place to make sure that at the heart of it you've got what you've got, which is that creating a community, that engagement, and that so tell us really very quickly what some of the challenges have been for starting off a scheme like this.
Well,
it's linked to that.
In that vein, I suppose it's as much thought and time needs to go into building the pillars of the actual community, the relationships, the rhythms, the boundaries, the agreements,
the tenancies,
and linking those tenancies with the vision and with the community. And actually those have been the challenges, but in a way that's what has inspired us to kind of move towards in our plans the community-led housing model, because even just establishing your rules and your objectives and your founding documents, you are doing that from the outset. And I suppose with community-led housing, that word community is in there from the outset, and actually those processes, those legal foundations are formed by the people living here, whereas this is an absolutely brilliant project, and actually I feel like councils need to do much more of this, but I also feel like groups, people can do this in a way that is more flexible and more innovative, because you can build in those processes right from the outset. And I think,
and of course, that's the sort of thing that Community-Led Homes West, as the local community-led housing hub, can help and support groups to work through those processes. Some questions we've got on Facebook, just because we are keeping this to half an hour, so we've only got 5 minutes left. Some questions we've got was someone saying, how long did the project take? This is Jimmy. How long did it take from having the initial idea?
We were recruited as community builders about 1.5 years ago, but I think the idea came a few years ago. Interestingly, I signed up to community-led housing, the hub, about 10 years ago, and we've both lived in community in that time almost solidly. So our community journey has kind of gone alongside this, and then we hopped in at the last minute, and you are using this as, I suppose, a learning experience and a stepping stone, and to shape our future.
So let's move on to that then, because you've got some plans for a new project called The Well, and you want to do something very similar, but this time you feel the right model to do it is going to be through a community land trust, which is obviously a fully independent organisation run by its members.
Exactly, yeah. And it will be slightly different in the demographic. It will be a bit more intergenerational. So here they're all kind of one age, we're a bit older, but and it would be specifically for young people leaving care, transitioning into independent living. So hopefully partnering with Branched Out, which is the kind of Bristol's care leaver provision, or a kind of equivalent in other counties. And it wouldn't be central, it would be slightly in a semi-rural site, with good connections into a town or city, probably Bristol, whether that's in North Somerset or kind of south towards kind of Pensford, but slightly separated for a bit more of a retreat element for young people.
And why do you want to go down the community land trust model?
Like I was saying, it feels like, you know, we want to be able to have, not, I suppose, the power and the ownership over how a community is formed and all of the foundations, because we feel like we've got this experience now, and our experience with young people. I'm a trained teacher, and I've worked with young mums and kids outside mainstream due to mental health. Dylan's a music leader and an accountant, and has worked all over Bristol with I suppose underprivileged communities. So it feels like this is a kind of a culmination of our experience and our passion and our skills, and especially with our experience here, being at the centre of all of the multi-agency work, which is so amazing that they're doing. But it's it's so fascinating, because we're not quite young people, but we understand what's going on behind the scenes and all the different agencies, but we're not in that. So we feel like we've had an incredibly privileged learning experience that we can then move into our project. So we are looking, we've had early access funding from Community-Led Homes West, and we've worked with some amazing enablers who are housing development professionals. So we have got our proval, so our business plan and our financial appraisal all sorted out, and it's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty. Love it.
Because that is the thing that's really important to say, is there are professionals out there. West, from the CLT.
You don't have to do it all yourself. Like, it's not realistic. So we've already been partnering with them. So the next step really is we are going to share that with potential funders, investors over the next couple of months and to receive feedback. And then the rest of our funding is going to work on developing our rules and our processes, our legal processes based on what we've learned. And we're collaborating with 2 friends who are also in social work and housing and have lived in community.
Well, that links into one question that's come through. A couple of other questions. I'm going to have to move us on. I'm really sorry. Will this be suitable for children and families? That's from Catherine on Facebook.
What, for our future one or Hope Rise? Yeah, it's going to be a mixed tenure. So that means it's intergenerational. So there'll be families and young people. Right. And in a way that feels like that creates a more resilient community and works with our business plan as well, because obviously different generations got different access to resources.
Fran on Facebook asked about how the tenants for the current for Hope Rise were selected, and I think that will have been through the council's general allocations policy. Will it?
Some of them, 3 of them were, the rest were through the YMCA. So each of the young people had to write an expression of interest to show that they're committed to the sort of intentional community aspect of it, and then also be eligible for the Home Choice Bristol City Council social housing scheme. Yeah.
So we've got lots of people thanking you, saying thank you for taking us into your home, which is
okay.
Absolutely wonderful. I know we could continue this for a lot longer, but I am going to finish it off because we promised these would be short little snippets. For me, one of the messages that comes out over this is about the importance of the modern methods of construction, different ways of thinking about building, but also how important that partnership is, but whilst keeping the community element as well in it. So it's not just like a kind of a commercial or another developer coming along with a partnership of a number of different people. But you know what we didn't talk about on the live, but we talked about before we went live, was about the vision as well. Right at the very start, Bristol Housing Festival, the council, all having a vision to say we can do something exciting in this car park. And I guess that's the message, isn't it? To other areas, you know, think about innovative, exciting ways we can use land to create.
And having that vision, and like you said, knowing that change needs to be made, and if not us, then who? Like that, let's do it. We can do it.
And what a great place to be doing it, because of course obviously you have got you've got a council that has an allocations policy which is all about supporting community-led housing, and you've got wonderful community development scene in Bristol. You really have. And
almost loads of stuff is already happening. Like there's We Can Make over in CLHWest, and we're hopefully partnering with them, and Block Build, who they're part, and they want to make a factory in Bristol employing young people. So we're really keen to
there to absolutely link up, isn't it? People saying thanks so much on Facebook. We are going to finish now. I want to spend more time in your home. Just to finish, Sophie says, when can she move in?
She can come around for dinner.
All right, Sophie, you can't move in, but you can come for dinner. Oh, Dylan and Sam, thank you so much for opening. You even showed us your bedroom. I mean, that's the one that's all
so many people in my bedroom since I moved in here, honestly.
Mind you, we've all got used to showing our bedrooms a lot of the time, haven't we? Work meetings and things.
We made the bed especially.
Thank you so much for inviting us in and sharing that, and taking us on the little tour, which was absolutely brilliant. Thank you to everyone who's been watching as well. If you could share this video when it goes up on Facebook to other people, that would be really great. We are going to be going live during January, as I was saying. We've got 2 more organised at the moment. We're working on organising others. On Thursday, January the 20th, I'm going to be live with Furs Co-op, their cooperative scheme. I'll be live with them. And then on Monday, the 24th of January, 1 o'clock again, just for half an hour, I'm going to be with Bricks Bristol. So we will organise some more. Keep an eye out on the Facebook page. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. It's been wonderful. Thank you, Sam and Dylan. Keep up the amazing work, keeping Bristol an even better place than it is.
Thanks
so much.
Take care, everyone.